Hi, we're Laura and Dan. We've bought a beautiful rustic Portuguese barn and have literally zero knowledge of building and farming, but plan on converting it into a beautiful off-grid homestead. Follow us on our journey. Hola, bom dia, good morning. This morning we've been across the neighbour's land. He was gesturing for us to come over, so I went over to see his layout and see the crops that he's got growing. And he was just pulling stuff out of the ground to give to us, which was nice, so I'll show you what we've got. So we've got, I think that's parsley, beetroot, got some lettuce, 2 big courgettes. We still haven't got through the first lot of courgettes he gave us. And loads of green beans as well. He was also saying that we could, well, I think he was saying this, but he was kind of gesturing that we could go in his little pool thing where he siphons the well water into for his crops. Just if we got too hot and we wanted to cool down, which is funny because me and Dan were actually joking about wanting to go in there the other day when it was really hot. I hope that's what he said anyway, because if he didn't mean that, it would be a bit embarrassing if he found us in there. But yeah, it's really nice to see his setup and to see what's possible with the plot of land that he's got, because it's a similar size to the one that we've got right now. So very inspiring, and yeah, I can't wait till we start growing our own veggies. So this is the size of a courgette that we bought in England before we came out, and this is the size of a courgette that's been grown in Portugal by a farmer with a lot of love and care and attention put into it. So the moral of the story is love makes you grow.
Or the moral of the story is they do say that in Portugal, the guys have bigger courgettes.
Well, we're going to prepare some food with the produce that the farmer came over with. I think we're going to need to be a little bit creative, but it's the joy of like eating seasonal fruit and veg. It's like learning to make stuff with the stuff that's in season. So Dan's just cutting up some pears to go on our salad. At first I was a little bit dubious about having fruit with salad, but it's actually really banging.
So as Laura is making food in the van, I'm going to go and take the guy's little bucket back over to him and take it back over to his land. I think what we made out that he said, here's the food, but I want my purple bucket back. Yeah, so now I've put his bucket back, I'm now going to go and head over and get some delicious food that Laura's made in the van.
Is that nice, Dan?
Huh?
Is that nice?
Very nice.
Very nice. Well, if that's not a compliment, I don't know what is. With our bellies full and the weather cooling off, we decided it was time to tackle the strumming. We knew it was going to be a mammoth task, but one that was essential. It felt like we were strumming for hours and not getting anywhere. It didn't help that the strummer kept breaking and we kept having to repair it. We're learning that's what comes with trying to be self-sufficient and off-grid. It's learning to be resourceful and face challenges head on. How are you finding the strumming?
I'm finding the strumming okay. It's a little bit obviously tiring on the body, but eventually after a while you get used to it. And it feels like a bit of a meditative practice as you're just kind of walking around and kind of like taking in the sights and stuff. And as you're kind of like in the feng shui, if you want to call it that.
In the feng shui?
I was like, when I was doing it, I was kind of thinking in my mind, I was like, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. I feel like a kind of a, you know the beekeeper. I feel like a beekeeper with this on.
Be good to get some bees.
So anyway, back to the strumming. Back to the wax on, wax off.
So with it being summer in Portugal, it's important to keep the grass low because if you let things grow up too high, they can become a fire risk. Well, that's why we've been kind of tackling this bottom bit of land today. And it's been really nice to see how much land we've actually got underneath all this. It makes the land look a lot more tidy and bigger. Making good progress, and it's tiring work, but I'm just grateful that we've got the strimmer working and we're finally getting cracking with it. As we've been strumming, we've been uncovering parts of the land that we couldn't really get to beforehand. And as Dan was strumming there, I was just taking a walk through the land and I came across this tree. And I noticed it first because it's got a really old grapevine entangled inside of it, and the young grapes are like really high up the tree. And as I got closer, I noticed these young fruits growing off it, and I'm not exactly sure what they are yet. I don't know if they're like a young peach or a plum or something. So if any of you can help identify them, that would be really helpful. But I'm so chuffed that we've got another fruit tree on the land that isn't an apple tree. So we've got a little bit more variety. And we're definitely going to have a lot of grapes from this grapevine that's entangled around it. In a previous vlog, Dan and I put up our metal tool shed. We've now organised it and Dan was really excited to show you inside.
So I think it's about time to clean this baby up. So the reason why I thought it was really important to get the shed set up very early in the off-grid journey was because I wanted to be able to, every single job that's up and coming, I wanted to have everything organised so I knew where all my different nuts and bolts and tools were and stuff. So that's why I thought these really little cool organisers were really perfect for that. Keeps everything neat and tidy. I really like this as well. It's like a tool organiser. It just keeps all your tools tidy. Also kind of put up some of these hooks as well. These little metal hooks here to keep everything kind of, keep all my saws on and stuff. They go on really well. And obviously the same over here with the garden tools. Everything's all kind of got its own little place. In the future is to make some kind of workbench section here so that I can come in, so I can have my miter saw set up on some kind of bench along here, so that when I come in here I can kind of do my cuts that are necessary, and then obviously can go and do whatever else I need to do.
One of the things we wanted to do straight away for the land was to make a gate for the entrance, so we worked out the measurements of the gate that we would need to build. After deciding the position we wanted the gate, Dan started to dig the holes for the posts.
I feel like I should be in some kind of a Coke advert.
Alongside putting up the gate, we wanted to fence off the front entrance to the land. Because of the lack of rainfall in the summer here, the ground is quite tough, so digging the holes can be a laborious task. Whilst we had all the equipment out for digging holes, Dan decided to start putting up his calisthenics training rig. He hadn't stopped talking about this project since we bought the land, so it was nice to see it start coming together. We're now both starting to settle into the land more, and it's starting to feel like home. We knew off-grid wasn't going to be easy, but we were tired of the old ways of living. But we always knew that there would be light at the end of the tunnel. Although working on the land can be challenging in the extreme heat, it makes it easier doing something that you love and working towards something that's going to be a legacy for our family.
So it's taken us a little bit longer to get through the dirt on this, to do this hole. But I think the land, what I'm finding is that it's a lot more tougher further up the land. Obviously I've dug some holes prior further down the land and it was a lot less soft, and this is a lot more tougher to get through, so it's taken us a bit longer to get through. And as I'm doing these holes, I can definitely sympathise and see how much of a beast wild boars are, because I've looked around the land and the wild boar makes loads of deep holes, getting to that gold, getting to that food that it wants. So I can definitely appreciate the boars after digging some of these holes. So I've laid out all the scaffolding on the floor now. I've got the first post in. What I'm doing now is I'm just trying to get the shape of the actual pull-up bar, what it's going to look like, just so I can get the right dimensions where I need to place the posts.
The famous quote says, "Rome wasn't built in a day." So we know to live out this dream of creating a fruitful homestead, it's going to take a lot of hard work.
So as you can see now, all the poles are at the correct depth and at the right distance to where I want to kind of place the bars. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be going and making some concrete and placing some cement in the holes so that it gives it its sturdiness.
Every job has to come with so much thought because it's something we've never done before, which means everything is a learning curve. We're coming to realise that not having the correct equipment or tools for one job has a knock-on effect and delays other jobs. This was my first time making concrete, and it was strangely my favourite job I've done. It reminded me a lot of making porridge. Thankfully my porridge tastes nicer. After making up a batch of concrete, it was time to cement the posts. Living a more connected life has definitely made us appreciate each other's natural gifts more. Dan has been doing the majority of the laborious tasks, while I've been focused on supporting him in which ways I can.
Fine, you just picked up.
With the sun starting to set, we decided to rake up some of the grass we'd trimmed. As I was raking, I felt a lot of gratitude for where I stood and where I had been. This land that we look to regenerate has sustained other families in the past, and this is something that we don't take for granted and want to honour. One of the reasons why we chose to live a life on the land is that we could take life at a slower pace, be more connected to nature, and appreciate the little things in life. With being so busy and needing to organise our living space, we hadn't had a chance to have a shower, so we thought we would improvise with what we could. It was definitely needed to end a hard day.